It's Madden NFL 22 on EA Sports, and we've got the latest chapter of a historic rivalry. It's the Browns and the Steelers, and it comes your way next.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to Western Pennsylvania and Heinz Field in the Steel City of Pittsburgh. This was the scene just a few moments ago as the Pittsburgh faithful were fired up by the hometown Steelers taking the field. They're all set as they'll match up with the Cleveland Browns. Brandon Gaudin alongside my good friend Charles Davis. Charles, so often it's the quarterbacks that are in the spotlight, and in this game, no different. We have a very compelling matchup. Baker Mayfield of the Browns, Ben Roethlisberger of the Steelers.
We do indeed, and something I'm going to be watching for. Who can get off to a fast start? If you can go out, get points on the first drive, preferably a touchdown, you can really set the tone for the game. And I think that both of these quarterbacks are more than capable of doing just that.
Here's the former Illini kicker Chase McLaughlin to get us started. And with towels waving, we're underway from Heinz Field. And the opening kickoff will not be returned, as that will be a touchback. The Steelers set to go on offense, and it is the big man, Big Ben, number 7, Ben Roethlisberger, ready to lead them.
And what a career we've seen from Ben Roethlisberger. Awfully consistent, tough, durable, strong in the pocket, great leader, a guy who stands in and throws it downfield, and has also added to his game the ability to get the ball out of his hands quickly and let his guys do work downfield.
Throwing now, Roethlisberger on first down. Got an open man, it's Washington. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. A good safe pass there right off the bat.
That's almost a rhythm play. That's what we like to call it. Get them into rhythm early, something safe, something they're confident about, something they feel good. And once that's completed, then you just keep moving from there because the confidence elevates.
Meanwhile, Ben's throw complete to Freiermuth. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
An early task, 2 plays in. This is 3rd and 2. First carry for Najee Harris. Defense had a chance to get off the field here in the opening drive, couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important third down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Here's Roethlisberger. He's going to launch it for Washington. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Love the idea, love the concept, but you got to leave a little room on the sideline so he can fade into it when he makes the catch. That was thrown too close to it for the receiver to make a play.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. To throw here, Roethlisberger. Incomplete.
Used to have a coach just tell us all the time, those scouting reports aren't just to use up paper, guys. Well, nowadays, we're watching a computer screen, right? They scouted this team very well. Know that they like to use the running backs in the passing game. They covered that play successfully.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Now Roethlisberger. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a first down. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 48-yard line. They hand this off to Harris, and he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
From the 44, Roethlisberger. Looking left sideline, incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone, and there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Eighth play of this opening drive coming up. This is 3rd down. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Open man, that's the tight end Freiermuth. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive, and they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on 3rd down. They did.
Big time pickup for them, and now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone, because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. Makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count.
And tough sledding. You'll get maybe a yard. Stop short of the 35.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now it's Roethlisberger. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
The 13th play now coming on this opening drive. Here's 3rd down. Here's Roethlisberger to throw. That swung out wide to Harris. Pushing his way through. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
Roethlisberger on the draw. It's Harris. And a good run as he manages 7 yards down to the 17. Pretty effective run there, and now they can start to smell that end zone.
Pound the rock. Make sure you use your O-line to set the tone of dominance and physicality, and pound the rock.
Working with a 2nd and 3. On the give, this is Harris. And he's eaten up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16. The good run on 1st down followed up by a not-so-good run on 2nd down.
Now let's find out if they're going to stick with the run here on 3rd down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocker.
Trying to pick it up on the ground with Harris. And he will have the 1st down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. A stop there on 3rd. They could have held him to 3 on this opening drive. Now they have to bow their necks on 1st and goal.
And if I'm looking at this from the offense's point of view, that's a big-time pickup right there. And I'd go right at him with another momentum play. I'd go quickly and attack them because right now they probably have their heads down a little bit since they didn't stop them on 3rd down.
A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door. 1st and goal. This is Harris on the draw. And he'll get about 4 there as he takes it from the 10 down to the 6. So that run gets him about halfway home.
Yeah, it's now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. A run with Harris out of the shotgun. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, but now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. But I'm just wondering, is the head coach thinking, is this 4-down territory? Might he go for it?
And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Grant Delpit. And the Browns are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Here's the Cleveland offense, and here's Baker Mayfield, former Heisman Trophy winner, ready to go at quarterback.
And he's a guy who plays with a lot of emotion. He's learned how to channel it really positively, because when he throws the football downfield and makes a big play, he'll be the first guy downfield to celebrate with you. But also, when his team needs that confidence, when they need that jolt, they turn to him, and he's ready to provide it.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at the 20. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Well, with the dime look on defense, 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Here's 2nd and 10. Mayfield off the play fake. Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. The sack by T.J. Watt, or as his mother Connie calls him, Trent Jordan Watt.
All right, partner, I'm going to be Captain Obvious right here. Not the start you're looking for offensively, right? Incomplete pass, followed by a sack.
And when he went down, it looked like that right ankle got turned, but thankfully he popped up okay, and they breathed a sigh of relief on that sideline. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Flush to his right. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. The scramble good for a nice gain of 10 yards, but still 4th down.
I thought he did a pretty good job there to get back what he could, but let's face it, that sack on 2nd down, talk about throwing a wrench into the works. It certainly did.
Yeah, he did everything he could there trying to pick up some positive yardage, and he did, but not enough. Colquitt on to kick as he sends it away. 51 yards on the punt there. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Getting set to go again, Ben Roethlisberger marches onto the field. And he had to be pleased at the start of the last drive. The offense was moving, but certainly not pleased at the end result, an interception.
And every team we ever talk to at some point in the conversation, the coach, player, someone talks about, we've got to finish. We've got to finish off drives, finish off the game. There's an example there of not finishing, doing everything right, but not getting the result that you need.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. Harris starts the drive on the ground. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. On the ground, it's Harris. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. Call it an 8-yard gain, much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards, but also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
And he's got the 1st down as he's up to the 45-yard line. 48 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
Now they'll throw it with Roethlisberger. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. So a pretty early 1st quarter roughing the passer penalty.
Seems like the officials are going to let everyone know they're taking charge of this game. They're always going to protect the quarterback.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Now Roethlisberger. And his throw is incomplete.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Play action. Now Roethlisberger. He's going to look deep down the field. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
A deep ball down that right sideline, and he made sure that he put it where either his guy was going to catch it or no one was.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Here's Roethlisberger. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. In for the sack, Myles Garrett.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sack.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
On 4th down, here's Presley Harvin on to punt. And he'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Second drive coming up here for Cleveland as they return to the field on offense. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their own 22. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
2nd and 10. Muscles him off. The solid stiff arm. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
Let's do this.
Well, how many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice game.
A run for Nick Chubb. And a nice stiff arm. It opens room to run. Stiff arm number 2. And finally, he is out of bounds, but not before taking it down near the 15. 62 yards rushing for him now as he has gotten the night off to a hot start. So they had it bottled up, able to make a man miss, and then boom, off to the races.
And it's how he made him miss. A little bit of strength, too. Had to work through contact to get him off of him. And then once he did that, now he put his agility to use and took off.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Now Mayfield. And finding the tight end Hooper. Yeah, the Browns are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taken them no time at all to get down here, and now they're set up with a 1st and goal.
Here we go now on 1st and goal. They'll run with Chubb, and he's in. Touchdown, Browns. Nick Chubb, a 5-yard touchdown run, and the Browns have taken the early lead. CD, there didn't seem to be much resistance there down near the goal line.
Yeah, Parker, from what I saw there, not a real good job of matching up defensively, because to me, they look like they were just in their base 3-4 package. You need bigger bodies in there in a goal line type situation. The 3-4, fine between the 20s, but not down here when you're guarding your end zone.
Chase McLaughlin on for the extra point. It's up and through to make it 7-0 Browns. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And Nick Chubb, the one to finish it off, as he does so with a touchdown run. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. The football will come out to the 25 as McLeod will not return it. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? Turnover, you just noted it on the first drive.
Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn it into 1st downs and hopefully points.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. A handoff to Harris to begin the drive. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. They run with Harris. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down. After 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter action from Pittsburgh. It is the Steelers in control of the football as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. Now Roethlisberger to throw. He gets it complete to Harris. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down.
Boy, that was certainly well-read defensively. And the key to any screenplay is space to work. And there was none to be found there. And they tackle him for just a short gain.
The Steelers send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. It'll go as a 50-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. Things progressing to plan so far. Their defense has been solid, and they've got themselves a 7-0 lead after the touchdown the last time they had the ball.
And this is no time to even think about, hey, are we going to milk the clock? Hey, are we just going to do ball control? This is the NFL. 7-0 leads, they don't last very long unless you continue to push the envelope on offense.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now 1st and 10 at their own 21. He'll start things off with a handoff to Chubb. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
8 yards the tally on that 1st down run. Here's 2nd and 2. Mayfield to throw it. He's got Higgins over the middle.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down. Executed it to perfection. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. And he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
2nd down, here's Chubb again. Shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
86 yards for him on the ground so far tonight, as he has been terrific in this 1st half.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does. It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key 1st downs and big runs.
Mayfield on 1st down. That's into the hands of Donovan Peoples-Jones. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. A gain of 6 there on 1st. They should have got more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call, because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat, Give him a ball that he can use to get upfield with, not just catch and go over the sideline. They cost themselves some yardage there. Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
Back to the ground. This time it's Chubb. Stiff-armed him. And he gets us down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
Play action now. Here's Mayfield. Rush coming, and he's taken down. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up third.
Just not much a quarterback can do there, CD. The pressure was in his face almost instantaneously, led to a very quick sack.
Yeah, and this time it's going to come from the middle linebacker, because watching the lineman, it seemed to me that they thought he was going to drop back into pass protection, but he surprised them and came on the blitz instead and had a pretty clear run to the quarterback.
There goes a deep ball, end zone. And that will be incomplete. Oh, he left that one in a bad spot, but fortunately it's just an incompletion and not picked to bring up fourth down. So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. Maybe a little fortunate there. That was leaking a little, maybe leaking a lot, but he got it.
Yeah, he actually was able to make it work. How about the body language, though, right? As he's watching that ball leak to the right, trying to bring it back in, and had just enough to get it done.
After the made field goal, here's McLaughlin back out there to kick it away. The football will come out to the 25 as McLeod will not return it. Najee Harris and the Steeler offense set to go to work once again. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Play action. It's Roethlisberger. He's going to sling this deep downfield. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. They'll run with Harris. And he takes us up right near the 45-yard line. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable third down, because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
And the Steelers on third down. 6 conversions and 9 tries. They've done a great job of picking these up. This will be 3rd and 6. Roethlisberger.
This is Chase Claypool on the receiving end. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now Harris. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Harris going to get it again on 2nd down.
And able to push forward for right around 3 yards down to the 42.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
And the Steelers on 3rd down. They've been really good, converting 7 of their 10 tries. This time it's 3rd and 3. He's got the first down here inside the 30. And down to the 27-yard line.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of first halves, but this is a nice throw here on 3rd down, and they keep the drive going.
Now a 1st down carry for Harris. Heck of a broken tackle, but only able to work this down near the 23.
Safety Grant Delpit up to make the play.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again, they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
This offense has converted 2 third downs on this drive already. This is 3rd and 4. Roethlisberger will throw. And that is incomplete.
Tight defense there on 3rd down, but what a product of good coaching and even better execution because he realized he's in field goal range, no sense forcing anything, and he made sure he didn't.
Now Chris Boswell for the Steelers field goal try. This will be, let's see, 38 yards out. And Boswell's kick is good. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3.
So the 3rd drives the charm. They are on the board, albeit with just a field goal.
Yeah, 3 points from 3 drives. That's not going to win you a whole lot of football games. Hopefully the fact they were able to move the ball a little bit can wake up their offense.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away.
From his end zone, it's Demetric Felton. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. Now Nick Chubb and the Browns get set for their next possession.
He's in his own second quarter, already closing in on a 100-yard game.
And that's the magic number for a running back. Anytime you get to that triple digits, that's all you're looking for. But he's got a chance to really exceed that in this one.
Yeah, he does. That's been the gold standard for a long time, hasn't it, that 100-yard mark?
It really has, and that never has to shift because it's in a game. It's the 1,000-yard mark. I'm wondering, since we've gone from 12 to 14 to 16 games, maybe we need to up that a little.
On 1st and 10, Mayfield. He's going to dump this off to his running back, Hunt. That catch good for only a couple.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ike's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd went to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
8 yards to go on 2nd down.
A give. This is Chubb. And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
So now at 3rd and 7, and defensively, it's a dime look. 6 DBs.
Mayfield looks to throw.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the first half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
Here's Dustin Colquitt now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time.
Here's McLeod on the return.
We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs.
Pittsburgh offense making their way back out.
And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. And at least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that. They weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Throwing now, Roethlisberger on 1st down.
That's complete to his tight end fire move.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Options galore here, 2nd and a few inches.
This is Harris. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
Our score 10-3 with 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 2.
A reminder, coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will join us from Orlando with our halftime report. But business to take care of before we get there.
A 2-minute drill before the coach's 2-minute drill.
And that one going to come up short. Low throw.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
On 2nd and 10, Roethlisberger. Complete. It's Johnson. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Again, it's Johnson. And down inside the 15 he goes.
That was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And this is incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now Roethlisberger. He's got his tight end Freiermuth right side. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Seventh play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6. Here's Roethlisberger to throw. Touchdown! It's complete. Ray McCloud from 10 yards out. And the Steelers are an extra point away from tying the ball game here in the final minute of the 1st half.
After nearly 30 minutes of football, that touchdown puts us in a position where if they make the extra point, we're right back to even before we start the 2nd half.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. And he'll put it through, and that evens us up at 10 apiece. So that drive in total 8 plays, and it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The Browns now going to take over late in this 1st half. And with a little under a minute to play, they may be looking to pick up some yardage here, maybe try and come up with a field goal to seize the lead before intermission. A 1st down throw for Mayfield. Over to Hooper on the sideline. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. 7 yards the pickup there.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
To throw again on 2nd down. Mayfield. And he's got the hook up to Landry. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. First down, Mayfield. Over the middle, complete. It's Higgins. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. So they go from one 42-yard line to the other as they come up now 1st and 10. Play fake. Mayfield. And he will find his man Schwartz. That's complete. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds.
And time to give some credit to the big fellows, the offensive line here, because you've got to have good protection on crossing routes because you've got to give your receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time, be able to scan the field, spot his receiver moving left to right, and make a good, accurate throw. Thank you, guys.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw.
Throw left side, there's Schwartz with it.
And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Here's Mayfield. Going for it all.
And this is incomplete. Oh, he had 6 points right in his hands, but could not hang on.
I know you felt like saying touchdown there, didn't you, partner? That looked like a sure 6 points, but the contact jarred it free.
Got his hands on it, could not hold on through the end of the play. Throwing on 2nd and long. Mayfield. And he comes back with one complete. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. Now a timeout called for by the offense as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. From the left hash, it's a 36-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And they will take the lead at 13-10. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. Taken at the goal line. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive.
And with 10 seconds left, not really enough time to put something together.
And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. So we come upon halftime, and it's the visiting Browns with the lead. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everybody, to our abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. First things first, let's get a check on the next-gen stats from that first half for the Browns. And it was a tricky half to figure out numbers-wise. They've got the lead, but you'd figure they're definitely talking about ways to get this passing game back on track. Meanwhile, for the Steelers, we check on their numbers on the ground in the first half, as they know they'll need to be better to overcome this halftime deficit.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. The Browns are going to get the second half kickoff, and they've got this lead as well as we are back and underway. And no fireworks to start the half. This will be a touchback.
Here we go.
The Browns offense getting set to go to work here to start the third. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better, and I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. The third quarter starts with a run by Chubb, and not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, partner, I don't think it's any secret that any running back wants to be able to see a hole open so that he can gallop through it. But in this case, he had to slow down. There was really no hole there, and he took a big hit in order to get that 1 yard.
On 2nd and 9, Mayfield. Open man here, Schwartz, complete.
The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Mayfield on 3rd and 2. And finding the tight end, Hooper. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. And some space here. Taking it right down Broadway. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Nick Chubb, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Browns add 6 to their lead. I think you'd have to say Nick Chubb, pound for pound, one of the most powerful runners in the NFL. He proved it there.
Yeah, this is a guy who runs with such balance and control. I mean, he went through that early contact just like he was driving over a speed bump. And he's able to continue his way downfield and wind up in the end zone.
Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. The drive summary, 4 plays, 75 yards. And Nick Chubb, the one to finish it off, as he does so with a touchdown run. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. The football will come out to the 25 as McLeod will not return it.
Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
Early down stuff's to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Now Roethlisberger. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Here's Roethlisberger. That's caught. It's James Washington. And they work this well upfield across the 45.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice 1st down. Drive keeps moving.
Black 20.
On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. Right side, Claypool's got it. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line.
A couple of 1st downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now, right at the 40. To throw here, Roethlisberger. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
They've given up a few 1st downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Roethlisberger on the draw. It's Harris. And he stopped immediately there. Officially nothing on that one. No gain, so they're left with still 10 to go on 3rd down. His carries tonight, they're getting up there, so maybe one of those every now and then is understandable.
I would agree with that. Understandable every now and then. Sometimes you come back and you fake it to him and go play action. But other times you say, okay, they got him on that one. We'll come back to him in another carry.
On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, if you're going to give out a little applause on that play, it has to go to the defense. More good work by them. They've taken away the passing lanes all game long, and you can see the frustration that it's causing because he just about threw that one into the 1st row.
So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt, and that is no good.
Let's go.
And this score will stay right where it is. Down here in the 3rd quarter, obviously that's one they could have used.
Yeah, and one of my favorite special teams coaches in the NFL told me what separates the kickers in the NFL versus the ones who are not is not the misses. It's the 2nd miss in a row. Best kickers in the league, they don't miss 2 in a row. He's got to get his head back together in case he gets another shot.
Two sides to every coin. This is the bad side of missing the 58-yarder. Now they start at the 48. On 1st and 10, Mayfield. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And this one almost intercepted. Had a chance to come down with it in the end zone, but could not hang on.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They'll go left side on the ground with Chubb. Oh, he bowls over him. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves him with 3rd and 9 looming.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
Oh, the terrible towels here at Heinz Field. Out in full force. Here's 3rd and long. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. Cameron Hayward drops him for a 4-yard loss there, and that brings up 4th down.
But Brandon, sometimes I think when we watch games, we're actually watching a living museum because we're seeing the evolution of positions almost with each passing game. How about defensive ends nowadays and the way that they can run almost all the way across the field?
It is unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, they're so strong, but they're so lean, they can move so quick with those bodies.
It's almost unfair. You're supposed to be able to know where a defensive end is supposed to be on every play. These guys flash so quickly, you're not sure where they're going to end up.
And good hustle here as this is going to be blown dead right at the 9-yard line. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
They turn to Harris to begin the drive. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. They go play action now. Roethlisberger. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. They were looking for Johnson that time, but now it's 3rd down. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
On 3rd down, here's Harris. And he's going to be marked down short of the 1st down, right around the 17. It's a gain of 5, but it'll lead to a 4th down.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
The Steelers send out their punter now, standing just outside his own goal line. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The offense trots back out there. Let's turn our focus now to Nick Chubb. He is hoping to find the end zone for a 3rd time, and we sit now in the 3rd quarter.
And nothing would excite him more, but I think even more so, his offensive line. Anytime you've got a guy scoring that many times, that means you've done a really nice job in front of him.
You're always giving props to the big fellas up front.
It's always a good idea. Those are some massive men.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at the 34. They'll try and start this drive in the air. It's caught over the middle. Hooper. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
A give running right is Chubb. A second stiff arm. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 166 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. A run for Nick Chubb. There's a nice move. A tackle that time by Akello Witherspoon.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here, because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
2nd and 5. From the gun, Mayfield over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Landry.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it, because you're running away from people on it.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Mayfield. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. And now Mayfield on the bootleg. And incomplete.
Well, listen, when you've got the lead, there's absolutely no sense trying to fit a ball in where you shouldn't. You can see the coaching in his head taking place on that play, because he saw he had a receiver in the area, and he just put it well over his head out of harm's way.
An important play right here, 3rd and 10.
And I would expect pressure here.
Going to the air again with Mayfield. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. Alex Highsmith with a big-time sack on 3rd down. It's a loss of 7.
Partner, you know what I'm going to say before I even say it.
Yeah, you just cannot take a sack in that spot.
You're exactly right. You can't take a sack in that spot. Potentially now, a 3-point swing right there.
So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. This will be from 56 yards out. And this won't get there, won't be on line either. It's no good, off to the right, and this score will stay right where it is. As a kicker from that distance, 56, 57 yards, so many things you got to worry about, but I am a little surprised he didn't get it there.
Yeah, with the way kickers are nowadays, we're surprised anything under 65 that it doesn't get at least to the crossbar. But remember this, you have to drive it a little bit lower in order to make that distance, and you also have to be worried about the interior rush that they can get their hands on it. So that's why those stronger kickers nowadays who can pop it up in the air and still travel and carry it, that's who you're looking for.
So the missed 56-yarder, and now the flip side. Good starting field position at the 46 near midfield. On first down, it's Roethlisberger. Complete. It's Johnson. A good rally to the football keeps him to only a yard, and it's second down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Looking to throw again on second down. Roethlisberger. He'll let this go for the end zone. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Good positioning, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So they took their shot. That was a pretty good heave, but in the end, the free safety is the one who comes away with the football.
And two of the traits that you look for in a good free safety, range and decision-making, both on display right there. And it didn't hurt that he's got a good pair of hands, too.
Ready to take over again on offense. Out comes Cleveland. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
Following the interception, Mayfield. He's got Hooper on the short connection, and he's able to get this across the 10 before being taken down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus, and indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
Mayfield now looking to throw on first down. This pass complete to Higgins. They'll contain him to just 4. Second down.
That's it. Big hit.
Alert, 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 alert.
They go with Chubb on second down. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on third down?
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
They'll try to run for the first down with Hunt. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a fourth down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Here's Dustin Colquitt now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. McLeod to return it. That'll be a 41-yard punt, 4 yards there on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Try to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Open man, that's the tight end Freiermuth. A gain of 6 there on first.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage.
Like 80.
1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's the Steelers with the football, but trailing here as we get going in quarter number 4. Working with a 2nd and 4. Now it's Roethlisberger. Completing it to the right side, Johnson.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
Able to hit his target, Claypool. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. They'll wind up losing a couple yards here on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
No surprise they decided to throw on 3rd down. A little bit of a surprise that they completed the pass and lost yardage on the play.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Here we go. It's Roethlisberger on 4th down. He's got his tight end Freiermuth right side. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
Well, every drive from here out is definitely crucial and critical. They know that they need to get at least 3 here to get it back to a 1-score game. But I can't imagine that in their huddle that they're thinking at all about getting a field goal. They want to get into the end zone and then try and get the ball back again.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. This is Harris on the draw. It was Troy Hill that time in on the tackle.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Now Roethlisberger. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Harris. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. It'll be a gain of 5. And that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And he picks up the 1st down yardage as he takes this one down to the 15.
Brandon, unfortunately, I've been here before. They've had 2 opportunities to stop them, so this is demoralizing. They haven't gotten it done. Now you're calling all your blitzes, all your attack defenses, but you're not worried about playing your normal position. You're going to take chances now.
Well, you said it. 2 3rd down opportunities to get off the field. Couldn't do it, and the clock continues to roll. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. This is Harris. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Denzel Ward, the number 4 pick in the 2018 draft, making the tackle from his corner spot.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Coming up on a 2nd and 6. Snell going to try the right side. And he'll take this one inside the 10 down to the 8. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down? Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And the Browns are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. But here in the fourth quarter, defensively, you know that you're just going to blanket the field with defensive backs and say, okay, take your best shot. And that time, it's intercepted.
And we've often seen teams go into the prevent early, way too early, and sometimes they get too soft in their coverages, but not in this case. They understood the situation and played it with the proper aggression.
Good job, good job.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll start with Hunt on the ground. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
The Browns on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Here's Mayfield. And that is incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a 1st down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Here's Dustin Colquitt now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. So a change of possession here on the punt.
Let's go. Let's go.
Pittsburgh set to take over again on offense. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He gets this one to Johnson, and he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. Now Roethlisberger on 1st down. He's going to float this one deep right side. Oh, a leap, and he will make the catch. And way down into the red zone before he's dropped inside of Cleveland's 15. A big play that time for Pittsburgh. You're at the point in the game right now where you got to start taking some chances, and that chance paid off.
And it's a good idea to be that aggressive because, truthfully, the defensive guys, they're just playing not to make a mistake. That often means you can make a big play against them.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On the give, this is Harris. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. They had the huge play last time. Here it is a much smaller gain of 2. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. It looks like a nickel set now for the Browns on third down. Here's Roethlisberger. Toward the pylon, caught. And in for the Steelers touchdown. Najee Harris, a 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Steelers have made it a one-score game again here in the fourth. Well, time to let those folks know who are tuning in looking for the late local news. We may be a moment because we've got a game again.
And, partner, except for those on the West Coast where it'll be seen in its regular time, right? That's the way it works, doesn't it? But how about that? Big-time drive right there. If they're going to have any chance, they needed a touchdown there, and they went right down the field and worked their way into the end zone.
Extra point put through by Boswell. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. Heading out as a Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. Their lead back down to one score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb, and he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Coming up on 2nd and 7. Mayfield to throw it. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. T.J. Watt able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening.
Well, I think that time he just maybe held on to it a little too long, CD, because after a couple of seconds in this league, you know those defenders are coming.
And how many times do we talk about complementary football? And we usually talk about, does the offense help the defense? Does the defense help the offense? I think in this case, does the quarterback help out his offensive line? You only have a certain amount of time to get rid of the football. They can only do so much. On this play, he took them to the limits.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. A crazy sequence here. A huge gain that time, but it still leaves them well short for 4th down. Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown, and that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. Roethlisberger will throw. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. They'll contain him to just 4, 2nd down.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Harris. And this is not going to do it as he stopped at the 2-yard line. No gain on the play there, and they're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal. This is kind of one of those in-between plays here, Charles, on 3rd and goal from the 2 or the 3 in that area. What do you dial up?
Something quick hitting. You don't have the time for something that develops slowly. It's got to be right at them if you're going to run the football. And if you're going to throw it, something.
And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Najee Harris with his second touchdown of the night. And the Steelers are going to retake the lead. Just power football there, down near the goal line. Give it to him. He's able to push his way across.
Yeah, they went heavy there. Sometimes you have those big offensive linemen come in, have to report like they're eligible. But all they're doing is getting a good stance, blocking, and getting their runner across the goal line.
Extra point now by Boswell. And that will make this a 4-point game. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it was Najee Harris who finished it off with a touchdown run. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Now Nick Chubb of the Browns gets set for their next possession. He has a chance to hit that often elusive 200-yard mark on this drive.
And most of the time during a game, people aren't keeping track of individual statistics.
Are you sure?
Well, a lot of the runners kind of know. But I'll guarantee you, someone has sent word into the offensive line that he's got a chance to get over 200 on this drive. That should give them a little extra motivation because they love it when backs break that barrier.
Absolutely. We'll see if he can do it. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. He'll set up to throw from the gun. Escaping the pressure right. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
From the 30 on 2nd down. Mayfield. Pressure comes and the Steelers take him down. T.J. Watt bringing the pressure yet again. That's his 3rd sack here tonight. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational, CD. That is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
Mayfield and this Browns offense staring at a 3rd and long now after the sack. Throwing, Mayfield. And this is going to be incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Here's Dustin Colquitt now, as he'll come on to kick for a 6th time tonight. "37 yards on the punt with no return. The Steelers ready to take over on offense. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
Roethlisberger's throw complete to Freiermuth. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
Well, it may seem a little unorthodox to some people. Got the lead, 4th quarter, yet he's still firing away. I think he believes that's the best way to go ahead and win the game.
Yeah, a lot of coaches say, let's just run the football, be conservative. He's sticking to his game plan.
No, that is his game, and that's what they're going to ride.
Play action. It's Roethlisberger. That's caught. It's James Washington. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20.
And these guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the fourth quarter.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. Now a 1st down carry for Harris. And he's going to push his way down to about the 12. And Johnson dinged up a bit. Still down. Hopefully nothing serious. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Harris. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. Throwing now is Roethlisberger. And did he get the feet down? No, they'll say he did not. It's incomplete.
That was a difficult catch, and I admire the fact that he actually caught the football, worked so hard to get his feet down inbounds, tried to do the toe tap. My dad's an accomplished tap dancer. I'm not sure he would have gotten his feet in on that one.
Is he really?
That he is.
How about that? What about young Davis?
No, it did not. It did not cross.
It didn't carry over.
No, it stopped right there.
And this will depend on the mark. I'm not sure he pushed the line forward. And indeed, he did not. They stop him. They'll get neither the touchdown nor the 1st down. And this Browns defense stands tall. Now Mayfield and the Browns. Down 24-20. Just over 1:40 to play. And the 4th down stop gives them a new lifeline, at least for the moment. Mayfield to throw. Connects with Peoples-Jones. And he finally is out of bounds, but he's down inside the 20-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Mayfield. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. The safety blitz turns out to be a great call defensively as they sack him for a loss of 9. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Meanwhile, Mayfield's throw into the hands of Peoples-Jones. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
It drives some people crazy to see those short throws underneath. They've got to find a way to gash the defense downfield.
They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also third down. Mayfield. Into a sea of defenders and intercepted. It's Devin Bush, the linebacker, who picks it. And the Steelers have just about sewn up this football game. Well, you knew you had to take some chances here with the clock winding down, needing a touchdown to win it, and that one might have just sealed their fate.
Yeah, and that's the nature of the 2-minute drill. The offense trying to go downfield and make their plays. But defenses, they're sitting back watching everything that they do, but not too far back. They want to be in position to make a play on the ball, and that they did.
Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. And the knee is taken for the Steelers out of the victory formation. The Browns will quickly use their third and final timeout as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this fourth quarter. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now third and long. Roethlisberger dropping to a knee, and that ought to do it.
Partner, they took a knee to finish this one off. To me, that's the only thing they lost in the fourth quarter. How about that comeback?
Yeah, trailed coming into the last frame. Got it done, taking the knee. The Steelers send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the fourth time tonight. Well, Charles, this one's going to be hard to digest. You take the lead into the fourth quarter, lose that lead. Maybe they felt like they let this one slip away a little bit.
They will definitely feel like that because when you have a lead in the fourth quarter, all you talk about doing is finishing and closing a game out. But when you flip it over, how about that? Making the comeback and then finishing the game, sealing it on defense, they will feel jubilant in their locker room.